You see it start, you can start now.
Okay. Well, welcome back to those that have taken the previous journey with us. And for those of you that have joined us for the first time, what a thrilling journey and a seamless flight is it going to be. So, in one of the first journeys and or flights or chapters, whatever we want to call it, we talked about awareness is the first step in any journey that we wish to take. Now we're going to take off and we're going to talk about what other steps we ought to take just so that everyone gets to be on the same flight, to be able to enjoy the flight seamlessly and therefore arrive at the destination smooth, rested, and ready to thrive and jive again. Now think about this. If you've either taken any flight, any train journey, any bus journey, as a child, I used to think anytime I would see this transportation mode taking people away, my thoughts were, hey, how come they're taking away from their loved ones? But then my second passing thought always would be, yes, they're taking them from destination or point A to point B, where there are other loved ones waiting. So even when I saw the flights in the air, I would almost always say, yes, thank you for taking people to their goals, to their destination, and to their loved ones. Now, given that, yes, I gave you an analogy of the flight, whether it's the flight, whether it's the bus trip, or the train ride, or whatever comes to your mind. Now, a lot of things are happening prior to the takeoff. That is planning. And picture this. Let me take you all the way back to when you were born. There was a little bit of chaos. Now, you may not be aware of the chaos, but there was a little bit of chaos. Your parents were excited. They were announcing the news to everyone and anyone. Hey, it's a boy. Hey, it's a girl. And she's a princess. And the guy's so handsome, so on and so forth, right? There was chaos. But then came the flight. Then came the journey that you have taken so far. So, in order to take the journey, you had to board the aircraft, board the train, whatever it be on the runway. And the captain knows, of course, the co-pilot knows, depending on the load of the aircraft, they gotta be at full throttle to be able to take off at a certain speed, given the load that they may have, and so on. I gave you a lot of analogies of the flight. Think about your own personal life. If legacy is your destination, is your goal, the one key question you ought to ask is, are you living your legacy to get to your legacy, to leave your legacy so that others will cherish to the fullest possible? And I'm going to take a pause before our air traffic controller gives us a signal to be able to take off. And I'm going to ask my partner in crime, Girish Gigi, lovingly called Girish. Gigi stands for Guru Girish. So given that, Girish, what are your thoughts about so far what I have shared with everyone?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ben, for for calling me that. I don't really think I deserve it, but thank you. Um, when it comes to the word legacy, it means that what you have left behind and what you're going to become. That is my thought process. But then that sounds like that, it sounds more that I'm more legendary and I passed on. But that does not mean that. It means very different for a lot of different people. And my definition is that today is my legacy of how I'm going to be for the future and what I'm leaving behind. Those are the things that I define legacy for myself. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Thank you. For those of you that may have joined, we're just talking about being on the runway, ready to take off, because we had already planned so well to be able to find the engine, the gasoline, everything intact and full for us to be able to take off. Now, given that, in spite of the planning, your legacy, chances are some of you are thinking or saying to yourself, but Ben, there are distractions. How do we overcome the distractions? And given that, yes, of course, there are distractions, right? But you never know. No pilot, at least that I've heard of, captain, midway through the air, says to himself or herself that, hey, there is some thunderstorm ahead about 15, 20 minutes from now, an hour from now. I don't want to take a chance. I'm going to return back to the airport that I took off from. I've never heard that. Yeah, chances are because of mechanical problems, they may have turned back and all that, but that's a different story. Why am I bringing that? Is because if you stay focused and determined that you are ready to take off towards your goal and your destination, and thereby live your legacy, to leave your legacy, you will not have any distractions stop you or deter you from doing what you wish to do, right? So we're ready to take off, and you have, in spite and despite the distractions that may be around you, environment will always tempt you to give up your goals. What you do and how you decide to play the game is entirely up to you, right? So, given that, let's assume be on this journey with us. You took off, and of course, right prior to takeoff, the flight attendant announced you gotta have the belts on. Make sure your luggage is stored properly and all that. These are, I'm gonna call it the carry-on. And whatever you do, keep your carry-on so close to your heart that nobody will ever be able to take it away from you, not only in this journey today, but the rest of your leadership life, to live your legacy so that you will leave your legacy. Yeah? All right. We've taken off, belts on. Guess what happens? You are from infancy to youth. You have completed your studies. Now what do? Society will tell you, my God, you got to get a job. Wait a minute. Okay, you got to get a job is, I will call it in the flight analogy, you've got to find the right altitude, right? Because you want to make sure there are no thunderstorms, there are no clouds, there's no lightning or anything that will take you away from that. Job and altitude, I will sit and set at a parallel. Fast forward to a year or 2 years from when you first got the job. And this is what's called, I'm not going to use this, but just to bring you the awareness, situational leadership. Think about it. When you first got on the flight, sometimes you have paid attention to the announcement where they say, this is how you put the seatbelt on. Now, for those of us who fly almost every single day, if I hear it, I'm saying to myself, okay, can we say something else? Can we mention something else? Because I already know how to put the belts on. But that's the situational leadership. In the job on the first day, your boss, your HR, your CEO, your CFO, everybody came and told you, this is what the job looks like, this is what the culture is, and the higher you go and aim, the faster you will grow. And that's why I use the analogy of altitude and job, right? So you are a professional now. Call yourself a yuppie if you want to, you know, the young professional, or you can call yourself whatever the kind of leader that you may be. Now, given that in your job, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years, yes, now you're at cruising altitude. But have you connected with the purpose of your life, or are you just doing the job because you must fulfill your responsibility? Now, given that, why did I bring up purpose? Is because of this very fact that I've learned a long time ago, and that was the two most significant moments in our lives. First is when we are born, and the second is when we uncover and find our purpose. Now, for the purpose of this journey, I'm going to call our purpose legacy. Legacy. Given that, fast forward to job, 5 years, 10 years, you're still doing the job, you're at cruising altitude. What do we do now? Aha. You just woke up from your flight and you are saying the sun rising in the east, the dawn is giving you some phenomenal views, and therefore the red welcoming you to this newness of the horizon that you will find and uncover and discover. And that is the purpose, mission, legacy. Start asking yourself those questions, because the cruising altitude, whether you like it or not, is not going to stay. Your journey is not going to be at cruising altitude all the time. Very fast, very soon, very quickly, you're going to get a sense, aha, we are at the initial approach to our landing. Now, given that, I built the whole scenario for you from takeoff to altitude to cruising altitude, and I gave you the job and the purpose and the yuppie professional and all that. I would love to have you enjoy some refreshment by asking any question or thoughts that you have in your mind so far, so that then, because you know, for initial approach, the seatbelt's going to come on again, and you will not be able to leave the seats. Any thoughts, questions, comments, or even views? Anyone, please. I don't want to put Girish on the spot all the time, but Shamshad or Mamshad or whoever else is around, please tell us what's on your mind.
Okay, so let me start. It seems like someone else is not speaking as of yet. So let me take a dab at it.
Please.
A person who decides that what they want to do for the next 10 years or 5 years or 20 years. Till they get to that point, I think the question still stands as to what else they can do even beyond this. So I think the
Absolutely.
legacy just keeps on going on. I don't think there's going to be a proper answer or proper destination or proper decision. I think it's an ongoing thing till you, sorry to say, till you die, because every day your priorities change, your destination changes in many different ways. As they say, mind mapping. It seems like your mind mapping is going to change every day of your life. Your destination and your decisions are going to be different. So it's a hard question to ask that what's your legacy today? And then you ask me the same question for next week, it'll be different. Because you know what? Because the priority changes. So that's what it is for me.
I love it. I love it that you used the two different terms. But before I take that on, let me go to some others that are in the room on this flight to be able to see if they have any thoughts or questions. Anyone, please? I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Go ahead, Mumshad.
Hi, Ben. So far, really quite a good, insightful discussion. My question is there an appropriate time where you get that aha moment that you have found your purpose? Or you still keep on searching about it?
Brilliant, brilliant question. Okay. And before I take on these 2 points, I want to give you yet one more chance to be able to see if anybody else has thoughts or questions. I'm not delaying my answers. I'm just waiting to see if I can give other people some chance as well. Shamshad, any thoughts? Okay. Right. So let me go back to start with what Girish brought up. He intentionally used 2 different terms, and everything is semantics if you think about it. Why? Because he mentioned legacy versus priorities. It's almost in an organizational structure, if you think about it, the vision versus strategy. Why do I say that? Is because I'm not debating nor negating what Girish just said. Priorities change based on our distractions. Legacy is the one constant, and purpose is the one constant in life. Why do I say that? Is because, let me give you, and this will also bring up a response to what Mumshad asked about, is there an aha moment? Personal story. My aha moment came when I was 16 and I was invited to go to a state dinner where I was the youngest one, and these state dinner participants were people from World Bank, IMF, and other global UN institutions who were looking to bring funds to India. I was the only one without any designation or purpose, for that matter, other than meeting people, making new friends. Yes, at 16, I was making friends. Would you believe it? Okay. Fast forward to the dinner being done and my interactions with almost every leader that I met. Eventually, 3 or 4 of them went over to the general manager of the hotel resort and asked them to hire me because they felt they were lost whenever they tried to check in at the resort during late hours, because some of the employees did not speak in English and they found it difficult to communicate. All right. So when the GM offered me the job, mind you, I'm 16 years old, I'm going to college full time. And I'm being asked to start this job as a front office manager for this resort at night. And Momshad, to answer your question, that was my aha moment. Why? Because job I did not need. Nights I did not need to stay up for the wrong reasons. Yes, if it came to partying, I was up all night, it didn't matter. But given that, my aha moment was, I said, if I can help those in need, even at 16, I want to make that a purpose of my life, to be able to help anyone, everyone, anywhere, everywhere, to be able to see how I will fulfill that on a long term. And that has since then become my purpose, the aha moment, and therefore the mission. I'm not worried about legacy. No leader ever, Girish, to your point, no leader ever lives with the intent that he or she wants to leave the legacy behind. Mother Teresa not once thought, I want to be remembered as the lady who served Calcutta. Gandhi probably never once thought, I want to be remembered that got India the freedom. Martin Luther King did not once think that I want to be the one to be recognized as the greatest leader of all times and so on, right? They live their legacy continually, perennially, with innovative approaches and ideas and insights to be able to pile up the kind of treasures that they can, so that when they leave and say their final goodbyes, others are saying, God, did we lose a great leader today? And the beauty is, my friends, 50, 70, 100 years or 1,000 years later, we will still remember what a lofty leader he or she was. I hope that answered the question, or at least shared some more insights into it. If you have any other responses to what I shared with you, please, by all means, this is an open forum. I don't want this to be a didactic approach. Let's engage, let's interact. Tell me what's on your mind. That is the absolutely most favorite question Girish has for everyone whenever he talks about, hey, life is all about going back to basics. So your thoughts again. Taking a pause only because I want you to have some other refreshments.
I can guarantee that you always put me on a spot, don't you?
I did not want. I love it. If you like it, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree exactly what you are saying. And there's not really much to say besides you live and you learn when it comes to these things. I don't know, maybe I just never really planned it. I think it just happened spontaneously. Maybe it's a wrong thought process, but that's my process, so far it's been working. And yeah, I'm very blessed when these things are happening. I mean, most of the stuff that I'm doing and will be doing. So it's weird how the life kind of changed and my legacy kind of changed and my mission has changed also. And then when I started this whole, um, I'm gonna call it the monster because it's my monster. My monster is my back to basics, and I live, breathe, and shower in it, and that's just what it is now for me.
Yep, brilliant. Any other thoughts from others, my friends, my other leaders? Okay. I'll just add one more statement to what I claimed about helping others. That has become my mission, my purpose, my motto, right? And my CIO, my partner in crime, who is also on this program, flight journey with me, he almost always says, yes, you have made it a mission and a purpose to help people, help others, but when are you going to start asking them to pay you? And this is what I mean. If money will come based on the work and the passion and the energy you share with others. Not once have I artificially gone looking for money, because money comes as soon as you deliver beyond expectations. You exceed their expectations, money is right around the corner. So this is why we have a tagline: keep climbing, your peak is right around the corner. And the last point, our mantra literally stands for MAPS. I'm not going to call it GPS today, but MAPS: mission aligned, passion, success. So if you have a mission, we will help you align your mission with your life, with your organization, wherever it may be. And therefore, now your passion, you will start to see it as such an extraordinary, unparalleled success as well, right? So thanks for sharing everything that you guys did. As I said, very soon, very quickly, faster than you expect, initial approach will be right around the corner. And therefore, we have made it, started a descent into our destination and the goal, because guess what? You have loved ones to meet, you have varied and various journeys to embark on, just by keep on asking one question: what's the purpose? What's the mission? What's the second moment of my life that I need to find out the purpose of my life? And boom, you will see, you will find so many forks you'll be able to take. Yes, there are some unknown roads that you'll embark on or you will take, but it matters very little when you are focused and you're determined to be able to thrive, to be able to dive into and swim the deepest levels of the ocean or the highest peaks, higher than Mount Everest, right? So given that, yes, we are fast approaching our destination. Initial approach, seatbelts on, begin to take whatever documents that you need, because arrival will look for passport and your luggage tag and all that. Chances are you will not need your luggage tag for this one because you had the carry-on that we gave you. The carry-on that we gave you was, amidst all chaos, think about planning. Because finding clarity in chaos is great leadership. But implementing clarity in chaos is great leadership. So that's one carry-on takeaway for you. The second one is, don't be so complacent when you're at the cruising altitude. Plan the next journey. Begin to dress up for the rehearsal, whatever it be, and ceaselessly continue to plan. Plan, plan, plan. I'll leave you with this as we right about have landed. What a smooth landing. You didn't even feel the wheels touching down. And given that, we will fast arrive at the gate. But given that, I want to give you the 4 P's of our success. Yes, you may have read so many management books, so many marketing books to be able to tell you that, hey, there are 4 P's that you absolutely must have in marketing and all that. Guess what? We look at the other side of the coin, and that is the 4 P's are: if you're passionate, find your passion. And I guarantee you, I'll take a bet with you, your passion will uncover your purpose. Your passion and purpose together will invite planning on a continuum. And guess what? All 3 together, the passion, the purpose, the planning, my God, will not leave you alone and ask you to be persistent. Guess what you just did? Passion, purpose, planning, persistence. Can success be far away? Absolutely, emphatically, no. So, thank you for flying with us. I hope you had a seamless, smooth flight. And I know that Girish must have enjoyed at least one key refreshment along the way. But what are your thoughts? If I were to seek your feedback and questions for the next flight, what comes to your mind and what could we have done better to be able to make your flight even more enjoyable? Anyone, please.
I don't know about better, Ben, but there's this one last comment, if you don't mind. I want to
Please.
mention.
Please.
You know, when people they have a mission, follow the mission. Don't follow the money, because the money will come back to you. That's how I look at it. You know, it's like saying you want to work for the money or you want the money to work for you. You know, let me tell you, there's no hiding, and everyone knows it, and there's no hiding for me. I've had numerous of financial issues, numerous of successes. Because the reason why is because my passion matters, not the money matters.
Yep.
Because that's just where it is. If you follow the money, the objective is very different for a lot of different people. So just keep that in mind. Just follow your passion, whatever it is.
Captain, I salute you for sharing that, because I couldn't have seriously said it better. And even though, yes, we landed with no awareness that the tires touched down, you just made it even more smooth for everyone. Thank you so very much. Immensely grateful for your thoughts and you being here. Anyone else has any thoughts or questions, my friends? Please, by all means, share it right now. And if not, go to our website, justaimforsuccess.com, and please give us your feedback. You have no idea, it'll be the biggest and the greatest and the priceless gift you will have given us. Anyone else? Okay. Shamshad, we are at the gate. I think we're